The vision of the Texas Military Department is to be America's pathfinder in leveraging a state military to tap into the innovation of our communities. And the way we do that is by inspiring, engaging, and supporting our airmen and soldiers, academia, and the business communities to help solve our national security challenges. I think there's a unique opportunity within the Air National Guard, given that we're found in all of the large communities within the nation. From here in Texas and Houston and San Antonio, Fort Worth, and here in Austin, where the Texas corridor is, we're found in all of the metropolitan areas around the nation. And so I think the ability to capitalize on our citizen soldier and airmen skill sets, that they work for Google and Apple and Facebook and a lot of these startup companies and NASA and many of these other government organizations. And they bring these unique skill sets that can really be leveraged to really help our community trying to tackle a lot of the innovation challenges that we have, within our nation.
So welcome to AFWERX, right? So we are right over here. I don't know if you can see it over there, but we're in this building that is half the Omni Hotel and half the Austin City Center. So Capital Factory is just a place where we are housed, right? So Capital Factory is 4 floors. So this is the first floor. There's the 5th floor, the 8th floor, which is now the DoD Innovation Hub, and the 16th floor. So we have the ability to expand out from our office, and all of the floors in the event spaces within Capital Factory are available to our airmen to solve problems, do workshops, or just do some design thinking. So AFWERX was stood up in 2017 by the Secretary of the Air Force, where she had this novel idea that our airmen were the most capable and knowledgeable they've ever been, and they can solve Air Force problems, right? They're innately the ones doing those problems, doing that job, so they're the ones to solve those problems. There's 3 hubs, Austin, Vegas, and DC, and we were stood up to build this ecosystem around airmen to make them successful. So we do that by many products. We have challenges, we have spark cells, there's also Spark Tank, which is very similar to Shark Tank, which you see on television. But Spark Tank is run by the Secretary of the Air Force. This year, Mark Cuban was on the panel, so was one of the Steinbrenners, the owners of the New York Yankees. You had the Secretary of the Air Force, you had the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, the Command Chief of the Air Force, right? So the Air Force puts a lot of effort into making it a big experience, and there's a lot of hoopla around it. But really some amazing problems are brought forward and solutions. So this is the first time in my career that I've kind of seen airmen be able to actually have the latitude to lean forward and kind of fail quickly in some instances, but also kind of run with something through success.
A few of the capabilities that we run are Spark Cells, a grassroots level innovation network, and it's pretty much these base level offices that are like a smaller version of AFWERX, and they tap into the larger ecosystem that we have. So if there's an airman on base who wants to do something new in their unit, they can go talk to the people at the Spark Cells and they can get advice on what to do with the idea, they can learn more about resources that are available to them, and they can go from there to actually carry their idea to the next step and to the next level. Another capability that we have is the annual Spark Tank, which is like the Shark Tank for the Air Force. And that is pretty much a way for airmen to get their ideas heard by senior leaders. So while not all airmen will actually end up on the stage at AFA, they will be able to submit their ideas, which may be picked up by local innovation cells. But at the end of the day, the Spark Tank is really about showing that the culture is changing in the Air Force, and it's okay to go to senior leaders with ideas and really break the culture that prevents us from sharing those ideas and prevents feedback. So what we really want to do is show airmen that it's okay to say that there's something wrong in your unit, as long as we're going to go out and fix it. AFWERX challenges are usually ran out of the AFWERX Vegas hub, and what they pretty much do is we will pick out a major focus area of the Air Force, And one of our recent ones was multi-domain operations, and we pretty much put out this open call, it's crowdsourced, to a bunch of people who are interested in that realm, and they submit their technologies or their ideas on how to approach the problem. So with multi-domain operations, pretty much we were trying to figure out how you were supposed to share information across like land, sea, air, across all the services, and pretty much share that instantaneously so that we can make a decision on a response like instantly. And so to do that, you require a lot of technology and a lot of systems talking to each other. So we pretty much put out an open call to industry to say, hey, what technologies are already out there that you can support that with? So what AFWERX challenges do is just put that out to a very wide industry base and get a lot of different solutions all at once, and then we end up narrowing it down to a few companies, and there are varying paths that they can go on, but ultimately the plan is to get some of those technologies into the Air Force and solve the big challenge that Air Force senior leaders have.
So as we're going out and doing these Air Force-wide projects, we're doing things for the Secretary of the Air Force, we're always walking first with the fact that we're part of the Texas Air National Guard and the Texas Military Department. So that makes me really excited, right? So that means that the Guard is kind of leading the way on a lot of these projects. And I am so excited for just kind of the future of the Texas Air National Guard. And I'm proud of our leaders for maybe you know, trusting us a little more than they want to, right? Because a lot of this is new, but they're giving us trust nonetheless. And I just could not be more excited and more proud of the leaders of the Texas Air National Guard.